Good morning, you're watching The Breeze, and thank you for reading Bay Area Houston Magazine and watching GoBaja.com. And today our esteemed guest, we're very fortunate to have from the Sentinels of Freedoms, the chairman of the board, Kevin Kelly. Kevin, good morning.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you for coming. I know you have a busy schedule, and we want to talk a little about the golf tournament coming up, the fundraiser.
It's a wonderful event.
And where is it being held this year?
South Shore.
And that's going to be Monday, right?
No, it's a Wednesday.
A Wednesday.
The 30th.
The 30th. And tell us a little about the tournament. What time does it start? Shotgun start?
The golf tournament registration starts at 10, and then we're going to have a 12 o'clock shotgun start. There'll be multiple things to do before and after. We'll have the bikers are going to be joining us. We're going to have the flags out. We're going to have the longest drive, the best putt. So there'll be a lot of entertainment and a lot of good food.
Well, I'm really excited about it because I heard, like you said, it's not only just a golf tournament. I mean, you're raising funds for a real nonprofit organization. And you've got lots of different elements, which I think everybody should come out and participate, at least come out and watch. You got the ball drop.
Correct.
You got a soloist singing on one of the holes.
Yes.
You've got food on the holes.
Every other hole has a restaurant. Food.
That is fantastic. And beverages, right?
Beverages are free.
So this is just really about entertaining and learning more and supporting the troops, right? And the lucky individuals that become part of the Sentinel?
Yes, very much that's what it's for. It's for a really great cause, and I think the more people learn about us, the more they will want to get involved. To see the soldier who gave up his life, or not his life, but a limb, or part of his body, or his brains, or whatever, it's really devastating when you see them face to face. And it's such a reward to be able to help these guys out. It's just a wonderful organization.
So yourself, you served in the armed services, isn't that correct?
Yes, I did 30 years.
The Army, right?
I started out in the Marine Corps and finished in the Army.
Oh, okay. Marines where? Out of Paris Island? Or?
Paris Island.
Oh boy, you did the hard stuff.
Hard time.
Wow, and you served, I understand as well, overseas?
Yes, I did 14 months in Iraq.
Oh my goodness. What was that like, sort of in 30 seconds? Challenging?
Spooky.
Really?
Anybody who goes there, I mean, we were getting shelled 3 times a day, every day, for the first 6 or 7 months, and then they found out about missiles, and that really got hectic.
Oh my goodness.
It was scary.
What did you do? What was your position or task? Or?
I was the senior legal administrator in the country.
Wow.
I built the first time you saw Saddam was in a courtroom. I built that courtroom.
Boy, I'm very honored to have you here. That is fantastic. You firsthand know what these young men and women have gone through that have lost limbs, both men and women, right? I mean, people
Yes.
serving us over there have been injured, like you said, either physically or mentally. It's quite something, you know.
Everybody comes back losing a little bit of something. And yes, we've all shared the same dirt.
And do you feel that our U.S. government does enough for the soldiers when they get back, or more that we can do for our military?
I think they do the best they can, but it's such an overwhelming task to try to support all of those veterans that it's up to organizations like us, it's up to good Americans just
Right.
to give up and know that they did this time to protect them, and now no wounded or missing legs and arms or whatever, and now it's our turn to take care of them.
Well, we all can do a little bit of that by supporting your golf tournament, and that's coming up again. What's the date?
30th of March.
It's a shotgun start, registration at 10.
Registration at 10, shotgun start at 12.
Excellent. And do they get a meal with their...
They get a lunch meal, a breakfast, continental breakfast.
Wow.
They get a lunch meal at every other hole. There's going to be a restaurant, local restaurant, sponsoring the hole where you can get different meals. And then at the end of the night, we have a steak dinner.
And I understand there's going to be a lot of festivities, I think, with the flag, right? And you said the dueling bugles.
Dueling bugles to start, and dueling bugles.
And they'll be playing taps, and that's pretty emotional, huh?
Correct.
Well, it's people like yourself and Gail Payne and the volunteers that put this together, because you're strictly a nonprofit, and they really mean that. They're 100% nonprofit, and all the funds go to the fortunate gentleman or woman that was injured. So this year we're honoring an individual. What is his name?
Donnie Dolphinball.
Donnie, and he lives in Tuscan Lakes, I understand, as well. League City?
Yeah, he lives in League City.
League City.
We built him a house, a $250,000 house.
Wonderful.
He's currently in college. We leased him a car.
I met him, and he's quite a young man, but
Quite a guy.
I want to say a special thanks to you and the many volunteers that make the Sentinels of Freedom happen, and we'll be out there swinging and supporting you
Thank you.
this upcoming week.
Okay, one more thing is that this is one of 5 events. This is the first event of the year.
Oh,
We
yeah,
got 5 more events.
Very important,
coming
that's
up.
right. Well, I think that's the exciting thing about it. The golf tournament kicks it off.
Kicks it off.
Then you have, I understand, a fashion show, and you've got some other things.
On the 30th of March, we have our golf tournament, which
Right.
starts off the season. On 16th of April, we now have a boat scavenger hunt. It's going to be held at, what's it called? Turtle Club.
Oh,
Where it's
great
gonna
place.
start.
Oh, wow.
And the third thing is going to be a golf tournament on the 21st of May. That's our third big event. And that's going to start off at the Turtle Club, and then go all the way to Galveston and all the way back. We're going to hit Hitchcock, Galveston, San Leon, and then back to Seabrook.
You call that a golf tournament?
We call that a poker run.
Poker run.
Motorcycle
Oh,
poker run.
great. So motorcycle poker run, and you've also got the scavenger hunt, the golf tournament, and what else?
A fashion show is coming in the fall, and then we also are going to have a black tie event.
Great. Well, continued success. It's a pleasure having you on the show, and y'all support the Sentinels of Freedom.
Thank y'all. Give me some support.
Yeah, more money, more music.
Good morning, this is Whitney Parks on the Bay Breeze with Bay Houston Magazine. I'm here with Debbie Drury from EquuSearch, and there's actually some really new exciting developments that have happened. We're excited to tell you that CNN actually recently got involved with this organization, and so we wanted to tell you a little bit about that. So what's going on?
Whitney, this is so exciting. CNN called and asked if they could do a story on Tim Miller, and couldn't be any better timing, of course, with our event coming up. And yesterday we were out at his place, and it was a very intense, emotional day for Tim.
Tim is the founder of EquuSearch?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
And the story is Tim's, the reason the Texas EquuSearch was founded is Tim's daughter was found and was killed here in Lake City. And so that was why Texas EquuSearch was actually founded. So yesterday, Tim said maybe the last time he can ever do this. It was, like I said, a very intense day. We went out to his place, we went out and visited the killing fields, and then we also went to the telephone booth. Anyway, the only people that know is y'all. It's just now announced. I wanted y'all to know first, and it's going to be being aired in May.
So I imagine that was a very emotional day for Tim and everyone.
Oh my gosh, it was
Yeah.
an intense day. That's all I can say. All day it was. We started out in the morning with the devotion, and Tim just told me, I don't think I can do this.
Right.
And the devotion of the day was as strong as a lion. And
Yeah.
so we did that, and it just seemed like he was able to do it. And I told him this may be the last time you tell the story, but this time it's going to count.
Right. And I mean, it's really important that we, get the story out and everything, because EquuSearch actually is, completely nonprofit. It's funded by, people like giving donations and everything. And so this is really important that the story is being told, right?
Absolutely. Whitney, the amazing thing was yesterday at lunch, Mike Brooks, Headline News, and his whole staff, everyone there, all the producers, I was telling them, okay, it's time we get the word out. And they had no idea, just like Rick had no idea, that Texas EquuSearch is 100% volunteers and a nonprofit. They said, I've interviewed him 100 times, maybe 200 times, and had no idea.
Right. Right. And I know y'all have gone through maybe some hard financial times and everything. Whenever Tim was looking for Ed Reed's brother and everything, just him having trouble getting back, not having money to get back. And so this should be a really good opportunity for y'all, to get the word out and everything.
Absolutely. When Tim was actually on the Ed Reed case on the 6th day, when they finally found him, now here he is with a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
And Ed Reed didn't know, and he calls me crying. I said, what's wrong, man? You just hit the Super Bowl. And he says, I don't have enough money to get home for gas.
Right.
And he didn't feel right to ask him. So after the event, I wired him money, he got home, and then I spoke to Ed later, and he had absolutely no idea. But by the way, he will be one of our guests, and he's going to speak live about his brother, and hopefully there'll be some NFL players there. That's what he's hoping for.
Okay, nice. So speak a little bit about the upcoming event. So this is a chance, for us to give back to EquuSearch and everything. And that's coming up here pretty soon, the Sports Extravaganza.
Yes, it is.
So.
It's April the 9th. It's in Pasadena, in Campbell Hall. And we have got incredible items. And we have Geraldo coming, it looks like, and possibly some more people from Headline News.
Oh, wow.
We got Steph Watts called in yesterday. People are just flying in. We have about 12 tickets left, that's it.
Okay.
But what we need is we have, of course, the sports theme, and we need jerseys. They can be high school jerseys, jerseys in your closet you don't need. We're trying to cover all the chairs, and of course we can't afford to buy them.
Okay.
So if anybody has jerseys, we need them. Call Texas EquuSearch. And this is one of the items we're going to have in the auction. It's a signed t-shirt from Headline News from Mike Brooks and Tim Miller that we got yesterday. We have incredible items, but what we need good items. We need y'all to, we need maybe a puppy. We want an airplane ride. We want a jet, Louis Vuitton luggage. We're aiming high. We want a safari. And I know there's people out there that, you know, they have these things. They may have airline miles, and everything that we have, even if it's just a $25 gas card that we can put together with other items, we need to make this count. This is our annual budget.
Right, because you'll be having a silent auction and a live auction as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We are going to have that. And you know, yesterday I was talking to CNN. I told them, you know, Texas EquuSearch operates on pennies, credit cards, and insufficient checks.
Well, thank you for coming to our show today. It has been really good talking to you, and we'll make sure everyone comes out to the event and everything.
Well, thank you, Whitney. It's great. It's great that you guys have supported us. Rick has stepped up so good, and y'all been in everything, and that's why we wanted to share this news. It's kind of been secret news, but we got permission to tell, of course, our favorite people in the area. So April the 9th, y'all come out. If you have jerseys, auction items, we need it. We don't want to operate on pennies, credit cards, and insufficient checks in 2011.
All right, you heard her.
As we continue today, this morning, the Bay Breeze, we're here with my good friend and PR extraordinaire maven, Patton. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, Rick. Always great to be with you.
It's a pleasure. Good to see you today. I'm glad we've got you here today to, tis the season when all the galas and special events start happening. I understand you were at the rodeo recently and Yachty Gras, and kind of tell us what you've been doing lately.
I did the clip column for the magazine at the rodeo, and it was great. Zach Brown, and this was the best trip for the Go Texan Committee, and 500 people. It was awesome.
Fantastic. You had, like, I understand, 30, 40 busloads of people that from the Clear Lake area that went to see the rodeo that Zach Brown on St. Patrick's Day, right?
Right.
Wonderful. And also it's been Mardi Gras too, so you've had Mardi Gras, rodeo, and you're always in the middle and the thick of things. What's coming up? Anything new on the schedule of this, on your dance card?
Well, I've got to tell you something very cool. I talked to Rick about this, and he thought it was great. When I was talking to Rick about this is something very fun for me. Nationally known artist Bonnie Blue custom painted a pair of cowboy boots for me. These boots rock, and so do I. She had a cardboard cutout of me at the Go Texan Fashion Show by her booth. And Bonnie has an exhibit at the Barbara Bush Library in Spring, Texas. And she has my cardboard cutout of me at the Barbara Bush Library. You know,
fantastic. Only you, Patton. That sounds great, man.
That is totally Patton. And what is very cool also is that Rick is in partnership with Linda and Jim Guidry of Guidry News. And so there's an article about my cardboard cutout at the Barbara Bush Library on GuidryNews.com. And one thing that Rick doesn't know that's going to be news to him is that I want my next interview show on Guidry News to be with Rick, Linda, and Jim Guidry.
Oh, that would be awesome.
You know, 3 people who are not only mentors, but have taught me practically everything I know when it comes to PR.
That might be dangerous.
That is dangerous. And I've talked to Linda and Jim about that, so we'll set that up sometime soon. But I thought that would be fabulous, Rick, for all of us to be.
And you know, when you're talking about Linda and Jim Guidry, they're just a dynamic duo when it comes to online media. I mean, they started this many years ago, and they give you great information, up-to-date information on their Gulf Coast news. They got me involved, and also the magazine, as you know, with the Alyssa, the tall ship that's going to be sailing out of Galveston, and it needs to have some hauling done and some new renovations. So they're going to be doing a fundraiser there as well that we're going to be participating.
Do you know the date of that, Rick?
I don't have it handy, but I know it's coming up, I think, in April or May. But they'll be on the show next week, Jim and Linda Guidry, to talk about the Alyssa. But I've got some things that I want you to share with the audience. Who are some of the fun people that you've had opportunity to interview and escort and be a part of?
I had the opportunity to be a media contact for two of America's heroes. And one was Walter Cronkite.
Right, I remember when he was
at the RNAS event.
Right.
And after the next day, I got to ride with Walter and Mrs. Cronkite to the airport for 45 minutes, telling him about all the things I'm doing.
Right, his wife is a wonderful lady.
Oh, that was fabulous.
They're first class people. I really enjoyed meeting them as well. And tell them about, was it Neil Armstrong?
Yes, thank you, Rick. This was the other thrill at the 2004 RNAS event. We got to pick up Neil at the airport, take him to the Hyatt Regency, and spend 45 minutes talking to the first man that walked on the moon. He was so nice. You know, that was just a real thrill for me. And I've had some incredible. I think one of the coolest interviews that Rick would love for my Give You News interviews is Bobby Unser.
Oh yeah, Bobby Unser, great.
He won the Indy 500, I think, 3 times.
Yeah, quite a racer, and quite a man, and a nice family man.
Oh, and just
real successful in auto racing.
Just amazing. He's still, I think he's in his 70s. He's still
very active, and has a good relationship with his son, who also, the whole family's continued racing. Great family unit. With what's happening at NASA, you know, with the, always the threat of layoffs. What do you really feel like the economy here is? I mean, do you feel that it's thriving? You're out there and about.
You know
what do you feel that's happening?
I really do. To me, I have such a love of NASA. And I had the opportunity a couple years ago of interviewing Mike Coates, Center Director. And I gathered a lot of information before I interviewed. I do a lot of research. I think that the economy will be doing better. And I think that NASA plays a pivotal role, that we have to keep NASA strong, and we have to keep the support for NASA and support the Center Director Mike Coates and everybody that works at NASA.
With the cost and the eliminating of the program for the manned space flight, our astronauts will be taken to the International Space Station by the Soviets. Do you feel that privatization, that why not pay our own private companies to carry our astronauts to the International Space Station rather than paying the Soviets? I mean, it's inevitable that privatization is going to come into NASA and more commercial, but I would rather pay and I know there are companies out there that can build rockets to carry our own people to the International Space Station. So do you see this coming soon?
You know, I don't know how soon it will come, but I totally believe in that. And I think one thing is the fact that we need to keep everything for America. I think it needs to be a totally American venture in the fact that, one thing that people don't think about when they're talking about NASA is that we're keeping the world free, we're keeping America free, and I think that is the way to go. What do you think? How do you feel, Ray?
Well, for sure, my feelings are that NASA is very vital to the area, but it's not as vital as it once was. At one time, 50% of the people in this area were probably employed at NASA. Now it's maybe 15%. Now that's an important percentage, but when you weigh that with the Port of Houston, petrochemical industry, international trade, oil and gas, high tech, medical, and tourism, we're a well diversified economy. So if there are layoffs, what I want to tell people out there is, if you are laid off, if you have some great choices. You can either start your own company, do what you want to do in your life. You can go work for a private company, or you can be retired and volunteer and get involved in the community. But where else can you live at a place like this that has a high quality of living at a very reasonable price? We're a model community for the rest of the country. I don't think it would affect us that much if there were some layoffs at NASA, and it'd be good for the individuals, really. They could relocate, and this is always going to happen. The government is going to, as they did before, with the 147th, they never knew that they would leave, those fighters would leave here Houston, the #1 area with petrochemical, oil, and gas, and send them to Oklahoma. It makes no sense, but it's the government. So we're really at their whim. So I believe in taking charge of our own destiny and doing what we need to do.
Because of NASA, we have one of the highest trained workforce, I think, in this part of the United States.
I agree.
And, you know, to me, like I say, I am one of NASA's biggest fans, and I think that if we do have more layoffs, you know, I am hoping that they stay in our community so we have the benefit of their time.
Their talent.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think to play off what you said is not only do we have a great workforce, you know, I mean, let's face it, NASA over the past 50 years has put billions of dollars in our community, okay? That means our schools have prospered. We've had the highest talented scientists, engineers, teachers, workforce you can imagine here. We've created a well-diversified economy. So me being a suit in Washington, I would have to say, why would I destroy something like that when I've invested billions of dollars? I've got a model community that's productive and self-sufficient, is not dependent on the government dole. I'd say let that community alone. I think Obama and the rest of his staff, I think are bright, and I don't think they're going to mess with this area.
Well, we are all praying that they won't.
I think they're too smart. Right?
Yeah.
You know, there's other parts of the country that are having severe problems, so why bother with us? You know, so I think we're up on a good increase. I think in sales. We just got the retail sales numbers back from the state, according to the Chamber of Commerce. This was the 11th month. We're an increase at 9% for statewide. So, and I think you've had a great spring break here in Clear Lake. We've had a little bit of inconvenience trying to get to Kemah back and forth, but we've had hundreds and thousands of, not just hundreds of people, but thousands of people come and visit Kemah and Galveston. So it's been good, and I think it's going to continue to be good.
And I want to be sure and mention something, because this is very important to Rick, is shop the Bay Area first.
Right, you got it. Shop the Bay Area first and support your band of merchants, right?
Right.
All right. Well, Pat, it's great to have you on the show and
It's a pleasure.
talk about a lot of great fun things we've done together. Thank you for watching The Breeze, and till next time.
The Sentinels is a nonprofit organization that was started by some of our citizens here in League City. It's a very, very good organization. We're totally nonprofit. The board members don't get a cent. The volunteers don't get a cent. We do nothing but give every penny to our veterans. We have a lot of volunteers and businesses that support us. This is how we can do this. I myself is a 70% disabled veteran, but I don't receive anything from this because I turned out well enough that I'm still working and employed. But some of the soldiers can't do this. They just can't make this adjustment. They need us to bring them back into the community as part, not only for the house and the education, but just for the mental support. And we also have a group for the wives or husbands of the disabled veteran. So we have a lot of different things we can do for you. Just contact us. Thank you.